Welcome to the show. I'm the host, Paul Cappa, and tonight we have Peter Bertrand. You're in for a treat. Peter, tell me a little bit about your writing style.
There's no style. It's just whatever happens, happens. Sometimes I write the lyrics first, sometimes the music first. Sometimes I'll be sitting somewhere having a coffee and all of a sudden I'll just think of something, I'll just have to write it down. The music I don't actually write down, just plays.
Just comes out.
Yeah, yeah.
I was reading in your bio that you're a percussionist or a drummer
Yeah.
at heart. Does that describe how that impacts your guitar playing?
It definitely impacts the way the rhythmic patterns that I play. I would say it's probably the most influential part of my playing. Obviously playing drums is tough writing songs, so that's why I picked up the guitar. And the style of percussive playing just sort of came out because
I noticed in your style you do play a lot harder than what I would see most guitar players.
Because I'm thinking of my drums.
And you do some very interesting little twists too. I noticed with your hands you have a little thing that you do. Is that like a technique you learned or just picked up?
I just picked it up. I'm not really formally trained, so I just sort of play whatever comes out of my head, comes to my fingers, and
it just
that's
mixes
it.
it through.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you no formal music or theory in the music side? Or?
I actually took music theory years ago, and formal training for drums. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you put me in front of music,
yeah, it's a big difference.
Yeah,
it's a big difference.
Yeah.
What do you when you do write? What do you think of? What do you kind of gravitate toward?
Well, one of my teachers a while back came to one of my shows, and after he told me he really enjoys a lot when I leave things a little more vague. Mm-hmm. And I really liked the way that he brought that across. He was more involved than just vague. Sure that he was a teacher and he was very eloquent with his words, more than myself. And I liked what he said, so I sort of take that a lot of times into thought when I'm writing. Try to just make it more of a craft as opposed to just like writing stuff down and just going with it. Right. And
earlier we were talking about math versus English, and you commented how you were more math, younger, more English. Now, do you attribute that to the music, or?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's probably writing lyrics. You sort of gravitate towards more the English, and you want to write with good grammar.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's a certain conciseness that happens when you do songwriting, mm-hmm. that you try to find a different way to say something that everybody else has said.
Oh yeah. You're always trying to be different. I mean, it's almost impossible to be unique, but we all definitely, I think, anyways, we all would like to be a little bit different than the next person. We might have all similar influences. Mm-hmm. But we don't want to sound like our influences.
Yeah. What would you have as your say top 3 influences?
I would say U2, mm-hmm. Sarah McLachlan, and Mozart. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
No, that's quite a disparate combination.
I love music, so it's.
Do you listen to all genres? Or?
Yeah.
That's. I think true musicians at heart tend to do that. We tend to listen to everything. We'll reject certain things.
Oh, of course.
And there are certain there's certain categories. I tend to reject things that are more cliche mm-hmm. in music.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch that, with your stuff. It's very interesting because you have a different style for strumming, mm-hmm. Again from the drums. But then your lyrics are also very, very nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Where do you typically play? What's your best audience?
Actually, this is the first gig I've had in a while.
Wow. Why?
I sort of put music aside for a while, and I wasn't sure why. And then I started doing some other creative things. I got back into photography and woodworking, and I realized that I was not being creative. I just wasn't being creative with my music anymore. So at least I had an outlet for a little while.
Right.
And I guess I needed to do that because I got back into music now, and it feels better than ever. So.
Do you play solo? I mean, tonight you're solo, but is that what you normally do? Do you have a band? Or?
In the recent past, I've been mostly solo. Occasionally, I have a buddy of mine who plays bass. We've been playing together for many, many years. I actually played drums with him in another band. And him and I are trying to do something here and there with him on the bass and maybe a percussionist with myself on the guitar.
Right. Cool. Okay. Well, we're gonna take a break and listen to the music, and then we'll be back in a few seconds.